Hey, what's going on, Black people? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. Today, we're going to talk about the Black News Channel. I did some research on the Black News Channel, particularly after this whole Bill Cosby situation and kind of seeing Marc Lamont Hill's debate with Joe Brown. I wanted to do some research to find out who owns the Black News Channel. You know that I believe that ownership is very important. And so I found some information that is honestly a little bit disturbing, that it definitely concerned me. And so get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. We're going to get started on drboycetv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. If you're not Black and intelligent, I kindly invite you to get the hell out. I'm going to try not to cuss as much. Y'all know I cuss too much, and I need to stop that. And what's up to everybody on my Instagram? My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. I see y'all. If you want to actually see the video and see some of the images I'm going to put up in the research I've done, you can actually go to drboycetv.com right now and take a look. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins, and we just passed 300,000 followers, which was very surprising to me because I was hoping that I would never become this popular. I'll tell you the truth. I really don't want to be popular in the culture that we have, because I think that a lot of the things we do are pretty backward. I think that we put ourselves in deeper and deeper holes. We have civil rights leaders who don't talk about economics. We have a lot of people that present the wrong solutions and then wonder why they don't work. And I just don't fit into that. So thank you to those of you who follow. I believe in quality over quantity. And I'm going to tell you, I block people all the time. I kick people out all the time because being here is not a right. I don't beg anybody to come in here. I don't want you in here if you're ignorant and stupid and coming in with that backward nonsense. I want people that want to build. I want solid ass people. And that's honestly, I believe that's about 10 to 15% of y'all. So if you're here and you're here regularly and you are part of the B1 family, then congratulations, because you made the cut. So anyway, let me talk about this. How many of you, give me a yes or no? Give me a yes or no in the chat. How many of you saw that interesting debate between Marc Lamont Hill and Judge Joe Brown? Did y'all see that? It happened on the Black News Channel. There was a debate between Marc Lamont Hill and Judge Joe Brown. They were debating Bill Cosby, but it was kind of a joke. Marc was out of his league. Marc had no business debating a judge on the law. I mean, my God. And here's the thing about Judge Joe Brown. I'm going to tell y'all the real facts on this brother. This man, let me tell you about the time I met him for the first time. Me and Alicia were in Atlanta for Tariq Nasheed's event, and he was sitting over there. They said, Judge Joe Brown, he'd like to meet you. I said, yeah, I'd love to meet him. I have a lot of respect for him, And I went over to talk to him. And he started talking and telling stories. And I said, babe, I got to pull a chair up next to this man, because it was like listening to your grandpa tell like the best stories ever. If you ask him a question, like if you say, Judge, what is your favorite color? He'll go, well, back in 1958, there was a Chinaman who lived in Harlem by the name of Ling Jong. Like he'll tell a whole story, and it'll end with him telling you why his favorite color is brown. He is the greatest person in the world to listen to, and so much fun. And so I pulled up a chair. I literally pulled up a chair. I said, we got to listen, because it's like, tell me another story, Grandpa. And he's so smart. And here's the thing, though. He's like your grandfather with a PhD, though. Like, he's got a photographic memory, and he is incredibly, incredibly smart. He's one of the, I can identify intelligence. It doesn't matter how long you went to school and all that. I know a lot of educated idiots, just so you know. I'm a professor. That's what I do. And I noticed how his memory is almost photographic. Him and Dr. Claude Anderson have that in common. These are two of the greatest geniuses of our time in terms of their ability to recall information. So Judge Joe Brown goes and debates Marc on the Cosby thing. And my personal view was that Marc was losing for 2 reasons. 3 reasons, actually. One, I think he gets a little bit too emotional. In fact, he got really, really mad at me because I just kind of thought it was a hilarious thing. I said something on Twitter. So Marc said a bunch of stuff, and you could tell he was just like, you're a failure. You're a failure. That's why you failed at everything. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're really succeeding, you don't need anybody to validate whether you're succeeding. I know I'm winning. I have plenty. Everything I ever wanted to accomplish in life, I did. So I just kind of said, "Wow, you're really in your feelings right now," and that kind of that made me sad because I thought that he was actually a person that was capable of debating the idea and not making it personal, right? But with that said, so the three reasons that Marc was not qualified to debate Judge Joe Brown was: one, he's a little too emotional; two, you're debating him on his area of expertise. The judge is a judge, which means he knows the law. He was a practicing attorney for many years, and he's going to stick to the letter of the law, period. That's it. He was just breaking it down for him. And there's no way around the idea that Cosby's civil rights were violated. Give me a yes or no if you follow what I'm saying. You can say all day, well, this woman said that, and that person said this and said that, but there's a procedure you're supposed to follow. There is due process. There are civil rights. And what's really fascinating to me, this is why y'all have to be careful about getting in bed with white liberals a little bit too much, is that white liberals have you out here sounding crazy because we literally have an era, which astonishingly is a time where we've got black civil rights leaders advocating for the violation of a black man's civil rights. How about that? You are supposed to be a civil rights leader, and you are saying that his civil rights don't matter. Like, how the hell are you supposed to be a civil rights leader when you can't respect the man's civil rights? The test of your commitment to civil rights is not when you're in the easy situations where it's clearly a situation where there was an egregious violation, right? That's easy. Those are the easy situations. You know, some cop shoots a guy in the back and he's unarmed. That's easy. The hard cases are the ones where you say, damn, I really believe that guy did something wrong, and I hate seeing him go. But you know what? He has rights like everybody else. That's the real test. And to me, that's the test of the best lawyers. The best lawyers, in my view, are the ones who can go in and objectively follow the letter of the law and defend the rights of somebody that they don't like, somebody that they don't agree with. And that's hard to do. I don't even know if I could do it, to be honest with you. I really don't. Like, I'm the type of guy where if you ask me to defend the civil rights of, like, you know, God forbid, a child molester or something, and I would just say, no, thank you. I'm not taking that job. You can't offer me enough money to do that. I don't love the law that much. So I'm not saying that Marc is wrong for feeling that way. I'm just saying that there's a difference between your feelings and the facts. And I don't know if he quite understands that. I think the third area where Marc, and again, and this is me being a little bit biased on this, where Marc was not ready to debate Judge Joe Brown is the judge had truth on his side. You know, he had facts on his side, right? He didn't have to wave his hands and scream and holler to make clear points. And he made those points very well because he's really articulate and he's a very forceful speaker. He's hard to debate. So anyway, so that debate went down, and there's more about it. I talked a little bit about some other things earlier, actually today and yesterday. So you can feel free to go to drboycetv.com if you want to see any of those videos. I'm not going to rehash all of that. Yes, I'm especially not going to rehash, you know, I broke down. Marc made a pretty interesting tweet about me, I guess, because he's mad because I think that Lizzo and her record label promoting obesity as body positivity is a problem, right? I don't understand how you claim to want to save the lives of black people, but you're promoting death to black people. Black people die, more black people die from diabetes and heart disease and strokes than police shootings any year, any day of the week, right? But yet white liberals give you permission to get mad about police shootings, but they don't give you permission to get upset about the poisonous food and the promotion of bad eating habits and everything else that's being promoted to us, right? Again, if Black lives really matter, then they should matter all the time, not just when white people say that they should matter. So you can't just sit around and get mad about cops killing black people when you can't get mad when black people kill black people, or you can't get mad when we're dying from, you know, all that Popeye's chicken and all this other stuff that they're promoting to us, making billions of dollars, selling us poison, and you're okay with that. You're okay, you know, with a record label paying a black woman to defame the image of the black woman around the world by promoting obesity as body positivity. Well, obesity leads to death. How many of you, give me a yes or no, give me a yes or no in the chat, and then we're going to move on. But how many of you have had somebody in your family die from a condition, one of those pre-existing conditions? Because, you know, that's what we were dying from during the pandemic, by the way. We were crying because the pre-existing conditions were killing us, but yet they're promoting the pre-existing conditions. So that's how they put you in the victim box. They give you the illness, and then they pretend like they're the cure. They come along and say, well, here, get this shot in your arm. We're the cure. Or here, vote for this politician. We're the cure. So they'll give you the disease and then present themselves as the cure. Yes, ma'am, I'm the cure. I just gonna make you better. Just give me your money, girl. Give me your money, right? Well, smart people don't fall for that. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. This is a simple yes or no question. How many of you have somebody in your family, give me a yes or no, that has died from some sort, one of those pre-existing conditions? Diabetes, heart disease, stroke, obesity. How many of you have had somebody in your family die from those things? And also, I would be willing to bet you that most of you have had more people in your family die from obesity, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes than you've had die from police shootings. Give me a yes or no if that's true. Give me a yes or no if that's accurate. Now, I know that this is over some people's heads, and that's okay. Those people shouldn't be here. But this is what you call common sense. This is what my daddy taught me. My daddy taught me that if it don't make sense, it don't make sense. It don't make sense just because a white person put it on TV. It don't make sense just because it's popular and everybody's going along with it. It don't make sense just because your friend says so. I'm not trying to be one of your little friends. I'm trying to just give you facts. Right. So apparently, I guess they feel like I was a little bit harsh in terms of, the commentary about Liz. Maybe I was a little bit harsh. But I really wasn't talking about Liz. I was talking about her record label, the white people that own her. And but of course, that's going to get convoluted in a world full of propaganda. Right. And the propaganda is typically anti-black and anti-black male, particularly anti-straight black male. That's why so many of the news commentators on TV are not straight black men. They are gay black men. Don Lemon, all his little buddies, whatever, Capehart, all of them, right? And that's fine. I don't care. I'm not trying to get a job on CNN. I don't want a job on the Black News Channel. I don't want a job on Fox News, God forbid. I don't want a job on any of those. I don't want a job on anybody. I haven't had a job in a decade or something. And I don't want to. No. So if you're watching, please don't hire me I don't want your money. Please, no. So here's the thing. So the comment comes up and Marc is really upset. And it made me say, I'm really curious about this Black News Channel. I want to know more about this channel because media, and again, I mentioned to you, we live in a world full of propaganda. The way media has changed, media used to be solid to some extent. 40 years ago, you had objective journalists who gave you facts and information and allowed you to come to your own conclusion. I miss those days a lot. My wife is a full professor of social work. We know how to come to our own conclusions. We don't need your spin. I don't need you to tell me what your opinion is. I don't need you to tell me what's right or wrong. My parents taught me all that. I have my own set of values. Just give me the damn facts. So with this world that we have that's full of propaganda and spin, you have to be thoughtful about who owns your networks, right? So I looked into I literally did a Google search. I said, who owns the Black News Channel? In fact, I'm going to do a Google search right now. Hit the thumbs up button right now. Please hit the thumbs up button real quick. And I'm going to show you what happens when I type in who owns the Black News Channel. So when I look up who owns the Black News Channel, the first thing, actually scratch that. Let's start with founding. So when I wrote who founded the Black News Channel, the first image that came up is this guy. And I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at. And if you're on Instagram and you want to see the screen, just go to drboycetv.com and you can see what's on the screen. But I can describe it to you. Imagine like an interesting looking white guy by the name of Bob Brilliant. Bob Brilliant, brilliant with an E at the end, not a T, it's T-E. So Bob Brilliant is let's see, it says here, so I'm reading more, and so I clicked. I said, okay, more about Bob Brilliant. Who is this guy? And it says that Bob Brilliant is a cable television manager and executive, a former partner in the now defunct Florida News Channel. He is currently the chief executive officer of the Black News Channel. Now, this is according to what I found when I typed on, who about Bob Brilliant. This is according to a source. The article looks like it was written in the Tallahassee Democrat and on January 16, 2020. And that's what it is, right? Now, is this me trying to do some sort of attack on the Black News Channel? No, it's me simply giving you facts and information based on what I found and when I Googled it, that's what I found. Now, I went deeper and I said, okay, who is the who really controls this thing, even beyond the founders and the owners and things like that? And so I looked up who actually runs it and all this other stuff. And I found out who the majority investor is in the Black News Channel. The majority investor in the Black News Channel is a guy, and I'm going to pull his name up, or I'm going to pull his image up in his name. I'm going to be completely fair here. His name is, Shad Khan. Shahid Shad Khan. Shad is, he's Pakistani. He's not African American. He ain't B1 or foundational black, none of that. He's Pakistani, and he has bought a majority stake in the Black News Channel. This article was written. Let's see, this one's in the New York Post. This was late 2019. It says that he bought a majority stake in the Black News Channel, which is going to reach 33 million households. Khan didn't disclose the size of his investment, but a source familiar with the deal said it exceeded $25 million. Another called it, quote, open-ended, adding that whatever Khan gets involved in, he's all the way in. So this sounds like it's not a passive investment. It's not like he said, hey, here's some money, just go and start something, just do whatever you want to do. It sounds like the guy said, look, I want to be involved with where my money goes. I mean, if you're talking about 25 million, if that was the amount, that's a big number. Now, he's a very wealthy man. He also owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He owns the he owns the England Fulham FC soccer team. Owning soccer teams in Europe is a big deal. His son, Tony, serves as a lead investor in the newly formed All Elite Wrestling. And he says, my decision to invest was an easy one. The co-founders of the Black News Channel are J.C. Watts, who happens to be a Black Republican, but I'm not making fun of Black Republicans. I have a lot of friends that are Black Republicans and Black Democrats. I'm not a guy that's going to get on you because of who you voted for. I believe that you have the right to support whatever politician you want to vote for. So I want to make that 100% clear. I'm not a guy who's going to say that because you're a Trump supporter, you're a bad person. I didn't vote for Trump. I told you guys my view is Black people have to walk away from this Democrat Republican nonsense. Malcolm X told y'all that 60 years ago. Malcolm X said a long time ago that you are just a pawn in a bigger game, right? This has happened to many communities throughout the world, all throughout history. Vietnam got torn apart because they got in the battle between the communists and the Americans, right? It was between, Russia and America, right? If you go to South America, there are many places, Nicaragua and other places, that got caught in the middle of a divide, of a battle between the capitalists and the communists. This has been going on for a very long time. So the modern day version of that is the epic battle between the Democrats and Republicans. And I've told you all, y'all need to get out of that nonsense. You need to be B1. You need to love yourself first. I hope that this is making sense to you. If you don't solve your own problems, nobody will. If you don't take care of yourself, nobody will. They always forget about you after every election, but they're doing all kinds of pet tricks to get your vote. If you look around right now, I was in downtown Chicago this weekend, and it was completely full down at the Navy Pier, full, thousands of people out there, everybody acting like everything's normal, hardly anybody wearing masks, everything's okay now suddenly, right? Businesses are flourishing, things are good. A year ago, it was completely different, right? You had everybody scared to death because of the pandemic. You had everybody, all the businesses shut down, everybody wearing masks, people protesting in the street. Well, what's the difference between this year and last year? What's the difference? Did the world just suddenly get safer in 2021? Did things get better? Did those problems go away? Did the virus go away? Do Black lives not matter anymore? What happened? Why don't we have the protests in the street? Why don't we have all the chaos that we had last year? Well, it's because last year was an election year. Last year was an election year, and I told you the number one game that white folks will play on you. And I'm not talking about all white people. There are some white people in the room, and I want to tell you, you're welcome here. We don't hate anybody. This is about Black love. I just love the hell out of myself and my people. I don't hate you, right? So don't think that I hate you. Don't be scared. I meet white people that are scared to death of me. Please don't be scared, because I'm not going. If you don't mess with me, I ain't gonna mess with you, right? If you mess with me now, you're gonna have a problem. But if you don't mess with me, I'm not gonna mess with you. But here's the thing. The game they play with you, again, it goes back to what I said before. They will create the problem and make themselves the solution. It's similar to how the grocery store will sell you donuts and fatty food in the front of the store, but then sell you diabetes medication in the back. They can't make money as the solution if there is no problem. So they create the problem, they create the solution. So we blow up the pandemic, talk about it every single day on MSNBC, like scare the hell out of people, make people think that you're going to die if you walk out your front door. And then they come along with the solution. Well, what's the solution? We'll vote for Biden. That's the first solution. Second solution is here. We got this shot. And, the people have made hundreds of billions of dollars making this shot. So now we want you all to get this shot because you guys are our cash cow now, right? What's the second thing? Well, last summer when you had all the protests, people are screaming Black Lives Matter, racial justice, blah, blah, blah. So that's the new problem. Suddenly everything's out of control. But then the solution is, well, vote for us. If you vote for us, we'll give you what you want. Well, we've seen that this hasn't been the case, right? Things played out exactly the way we knew that they would. The smart ones in the room, you were predicting that a year from now, next summer, you're going to be looking back and you're going to be mad because Biden isn't returning your calls. Well, why should he? Because you the hoe who gave it up too easy. That's what it is. We were the political hoes who gave it up on the first date, and now we mad because he didn't marry us. I'm sorry, men politicians, they don't try to turn a hoe into a housewife. You try to be a housewife, but you're acting like a hoe. So stop being hoes. Seriously, sometimes you gotta hold back. Sometimes you gotta set a damn standard. If you don't set a standard, then they will not meet the standard. They will never meet a standard that you do not set yourself. If you do not set the standard, they will not meet it. Extremely important to understand. Now, as we move on, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Please, please, please do that. I told you guys I'm doing a free a free book club on Powernomics and Black Labor, White Wealth and Dr. Claude Anderson's books and a bunch of other books. And if you want to sign up, you can join for free. You can go to blackkeystogreatness.com. I'm going to try to put that on the screen so you guys can see it. Here we go, blackkeystogreatness.com. We start Wednesday night at 8:30 every week at 8:30 on Wednesday. We're going to go through a section of, we're going to start with Black Labor, White Wealth. This book right here. This book, according to Dr. Anderson, I'm going to make sure he's good with this. I assume he's okay because I want you all to buy his book. Please buy his books because y'all got to support this man in what he's doing, because he's doing something that's epic and probably the most important work ever done in the history of the Black community in this country. And this book covers pretty much everything you're going to need to know about exactly why we're in the situation that we're in. The chapters in this book are 1, the nature of the problem; 2, power and Black progress; 3, impediments to empowerment and economic justice; 4, why whites chose to enslave Blacks; 5, why Blacks cannot emulate ethnic immigrants; 6, white bridges to wealth and power; 7, a national public policy on Black people; 8, becoming politically and economically competitive in America; 9, cultural foundations for economic power, Black artists and athletes, and more. Right. So we're going to cover this. After we do this, we're going to go to Powernomics. Then after that, we're going to go to Black Labor. The Black History Reader. So you can sign up for free. The class costs you nothing. If you see a price and you think you have to pay, do not do that. Just go to blackkeystogreatness.com and you can sign up and you can join the classes on Wednesday night. Okay. Now, with that said, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. So let's keep talking about the Black News Channel and the actual owners. So this guy Shad Khan is really interesting. So he owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's not a Black guy. He's from Pakistan. Now I want to ask you guys this question, and we know he's a Trump supporter. He gave about $1 million to Trump. But again, I don't hold that against anybody. I think you have a right to vote for who you want to vote for. But here's the thing I want to ask you. I want to ask you all a question. Give me a yes or no answer to this. Let's say that I got with you guys and said, we're going to create the Pakistani News Network. We're going to create news. In fact, make it the Asian News Network. Pakistan's part of Asia, a little bit part of Asia, I think, India and Asia and all that, right? And so we're going to create the Asian News Network. And the founding investor is going to be Dr. Boyce Watkins. And also, I see DeAndre Woods in here. DeAndre is going to be the CEO. Who wants to be the content coordinator, the person who's running the content? Let me see, Barbara Ward. Barbara, do you accept? You are nominated as the content coordinator, so you're going to decide which Pakistanis or which Asian people are going to get a chance to tell Asian news that day. Let's see here. Tasha All Smiles says, "Why isn't there stars?" Okay, I don't know what the stars are. I'm sorry, but Tasha, you are nominated. As you're going to be one of the production coordinators, so you're the senior producer. Do you think that the Pakistani community would be okay with that? Like, do you think that the Asian community would support that? Do you think that they would watch that channel? Like, do you think that if they found out, if they did a Google search and said, who owns the Pakistani News Network or who owns the Asian News Network, and they find out that it's me and you, do you think, okay, Edward wants to handle the legal department? All right, Edward, you are you are the head attorney. I don't even know what your legal background is, but you look like a cool guy. So do you think that community will be okay with us starting the Asian News Network and marketing to Asian people and making money? Do you think they would be fine with that? Let's say that we go out and we hire 20 Asian, 10 or 20 Asian people. And we say, no, look, our host is Asian. Sure, the lead investor, is Black, and the founder is Black. But we hired lots of Asian people to go out and spread our message to the world. I mean, not our message. I'm sorry, it's the Asian message. Yeah, it's the Asian empowerment message. Do you think they'd be okay with that? I see a lot of no's. I see Gary says hell no. I see a lot. Okay, Stephanie says no. All right. So why do I make that point? I make that point because I want you to understand how the laws of racial physics, how the laws of economic physics change when you get to the Black space. The reason I made that point is because there are specific rules of race and politics and economics that apply to Black people that do not apply to anybody else. There are ways of doing business that apply to the Black community that you can't get away with nowhere else. Like the NCAA spent, 50, 60 years robbing the Black community of approximately $1 billion a year by not paying the athletes, running an illegal cartel for many years. I've been writing articles about it for 25 years now. An illegal cartel where they were extracting $1 billion in wealth every year from black kids, pretending to educate them when really they're just using them for their labor. And some of them, have still have physical ailments from playing football at Alabama or whatever and winning championships for Nick Saban. And here's the thing. That sort of monopoly or oligopoly or cartel, whatever label you want to put on that, would not be allowed in any other industry in America. They would not allow them to do that to any other community except for you. So there are specific rules and ways of doing things that they can get away with you that they can't get away with anybody else. And a lot of that is because black people, I believe, in the eyes of many others, black people are seen as economically immature. We are seen as the equivalent of economic and political children, right? With a child or with a pet. Like we're either a child or a pet, right? We're in one of those two categories, right? You love the dog, but you know the dog is not a human. So you're not really going to consult with the dog when you're deciding where the family's going to take vacation next year. You'll take the dog, but you're not going to talk to the dog and ask for the dog's opinion. You're not going to say, well, where does Fluffy want to go for summer vacation? You're not going to do that, but you love Fluffy. You need Fluffy around, right? We are the emotional support animal to white folks. Like they need us around. They like us. That's why they get so mad when you try to break off. They're like, where are you going? Come back here. Because they love you in a weird way. They love you in the same way, Ike loved Tina, right? He didn't want Tina to leave. He said, wait, hey, stay back here, lady, so I can beat your ass a little bit more, right? So people see you as a person who has a certain role, but they don't necessarily want you to have a role that involves true empowerment. Right? They love you, but don't really respect you. Right? So those are two different things. So when you're talking about this economic thing, the reason I did that example is not because I'm trying to dog out the Black News Channel. I will admit that Marc Lamahill's funny little tweet where he's like arm waving, you're a failure, you're an epic failure. That did make me say, okay, well, let me go and look into your bosses. I'm not really going to talk to you that much. I want to talk to your boss. I'm going to talk to the white man that's paying you. And I want to basically break down what I'm really seeing here. And what I'm seeing here is a little bit disturbing, right? So anyway, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. I want to make a couple more quick points on this. Here's the deal. This is the general rule for business. There's nothing wrong with partnerships, right? There's nothing wrong with integration. In fact, like some people think that people that don't understand the message on this platform think that I am anti-integration, that I'm pro-segregation. I want separatism for Black people. That is not true. I have never, ever told you to never do business with white folks or never do business with Asian people or whatever. I've never said that. I said integration can be a beautiful thing. It's like marriage. Like I married my wife. I love this woman, right? But I didn't marry my wife because I just wanted to get married. I married her because the conditions make sense, right? So integration is the same way. Integration is not a problem. Integration is only a problem when you don't properly negotiate the terms of your integration. So for Black people, the reason integration was bad for you was because the civil rights activists, who many of whom were probably just paid government agents, to be honest with you, many of these civil rights activists basically didn't negotiate the terms of your integration. They said, boss, we don't want to own the company. We just want to work for the company. We don't want to run the businesses. We just want to go buy products from the businesses. No, we don't want to own the schools. We just want to go to school next to the white boys. We don't want to own the real estate. We just want to get a house in your neighborhood so we can get the hell away from these other Black folks, so we can feel like we're doing better than everybody else. That's the problem with your integration. It wasn't integration itself that was the issue. Do you follow me? It was the way you negotiated the integration. So with this particular case, I am not in any way disparaging the Black News Network or anybody associated with it because they are partnered with people who are not Black. I'm questioning the terms of the integration. My question at the end of the day is, who's the boss of this thing? And that's important because remember, Adolf Hitler and others showed you that control of media is extremely important when you want to control a group of people. Media is the number one source of propaganda that exists in this society, and it's been true for a very long time. So in fact, when they would invade other countries, first thing they would do is take over your media outlets. They take over your radio and TV stations. That's why for national security purposes, the United States government will not allow the Chinese to own more than so many different media outlets and movie studios and things like that. That's why the Jewish community, their major come up, which I admire them for, was the fact that they created Hollywood so that they could control media and control the way people viewed their community from around the world. And to this day, if you notice, they will not allow you to ever go out here and disparage Israel. You say something negative about Israel, you ever want to get fired from your TV job, go say something bad about Israel. And go say something bad about the Jewish community. You saw what they did to Nick Cannon, right? That's because they don't play. And I'm not even mad at them for it. I'm not mad at them for it. I'm just sitting there thinking, man, when black people figure this out, whoo, buddy, we're gonna be dangerous. Right now, I want to drill into this. In fact, I'm gonna use a comment. I'm gonna use a troll's comment. EAB, he's gonna get blocked in a minute, but I want to use his comment to make my point here. He says, "Your pimp is a Chinaman." I know exactly what he's talking about. What he's referring to, and this allows me to make my point accurately, because I told you guys, there's no smoking gun, there's no like expose. I see the internet rumors sometimes, but I just ain't got time to deal with all that. But I want to address that. So what he's referring to is a guy I worked with years ago by the name of Charles Wu. Charles came in. We hired Charles because Charles is an expert. He's damn good at digital marketing. He's an absolute expert at digital marketing. The reason I had to part ways with Charles was because Charles made a video that was unauthorized by our team. He used me as his prototype in his training programs to talk about what I was doing, right? And the video, I don't think he meant to be disrespectful, but it came off as very disrespectful. It came off in a way where I said, this is not appropriate because this is going to make people think I'm pretending. And I'm not pretending. This is very serious to me. And he did apologize for that, but we parted ways. Now, two things. One, I regretted parting ways with Charles because we actually were able to generate revenue for the Black Business School, where a lot of Black folks don't support Black businesses. We were able to generate revenue and hire tons of Black people and get our message out to the world. We taught over 1 million Black people how to buy their first share of stock. But the other point I want to make, so I regret actually firing him, right? But here's the other thing too, that's very important to understand. So when you see people talk about that, I'm not going to mention it anymore because I know people keep bringing it up. They bring it up because they're like, ha, we got you. You really owned by an Asian man. Nobody owns shit in my space. Everything I do is a 100% Black owned. 100%. I got the paperwork to show it. And why is this important? Well, understand, when it came to my issue with Charles, I fired him because I made sure I was the boss. I told you guys, I don't have no problem with integrating with other communities. I've worked with white boys. I've worked with white women. I've worked with Asians. I've worked with people from other countries, people from Latin America. But understand this point very clearly. EAB. Everybody say goodbye to EAB because he's about to be blocked for life because he's obviously immature and stupid, and we don't allow stupid people on this platform. But I want to hang him up to kind of make this. He's helped me make this clear point to you. It's okay to integrate and to work with other people. That's how you build economically. That's how you make progress. That's how you engage in the cross transfer of skills and information. You go talk to the white boys. You go to the white conferences. You go to the Asian stuff. Whatever it is you want to do all of that. Just make sure you are in control of the process. At the end of the day, the number one question I ask is not who are you working with? The question I ask you is who's the boss? Who's calling the shots up in this motherfucker? Seriously, who is making the final decision at the end of the damn day? And I'm going to tell you what, if I am Shad Khan, whoever this guy is, the Jackson Jaguars owner who owns the Black News Channel, if I'm Shad Khan and I done wrote a check for $25 million for this thing, you really think I'm going to let Marc Lamont Hill or anybody tell me what to do with my channel? Who do you think is calling the shots? The guy who gets all emotional over Bill Cosby, or the guy who wrote the $25 million check, or whatever the check was worth? The New York Post speculated it was $25 million. They said an insider or something. I think they said something in the article about $25 million. Maybe it wasn't $25 million. Maybe it was $10 million. But they said a source familiar with the deal said it exceeded $25 million. And it's open-ended, which means, to me, that sounds to me like it means that he can put more than 25 million. So if he wrote a check that big, remember, he's a billionaire. You don't become billionaires by being stupid. You don't become a billionaire by tricking your money off, right? He became a billionaire because he makes intelligent economic decisions that maintain his power and control within the negotiation. He ain't like those rappers going out talking about I made 10 million. I'm gonna run to Jake the Jeweler so I can look fly this summer. He's not doing that. This man's buying sports teams. He's buying black people. There's a difference between serving black people and selling black people. He said Negroes can be sold for a pretty good price. So I want to buy this news channel because this looks like a pretty damn good investment. I don't hate him for it. I just don't agree with that decision because it affects me and my community and the propaganda that gets laid onto our people. That's the only issue that I have. And in fact, actually, if you want to know my for real thought on this, I would say that I would be okay with the Black News Channel if they had objective journalism. Just give people facts, man. You know, why can't we have news reporters who don't somehow feel that their opinion is so important that everybody needs it? Sometimes people don't want your damn opinion, Don Lemon. Sometimes people just want information. Alicia and I swear to God, Alicia and I, we stopped watching CNN. We don't watch the Black News Channel at all. We stopped watching Fox News. We stopped watching all of that because we got tired of people trying to tell us what to think. What we started doing was we started watching things like C-SPAN because we're like, okay, C-SPAN will give you no commentary at all. They'll just let you watch the press conference so you can really hear what the governor said, right? They won't tell you the governor is a thief and he's a crook. I don't want to hear all that. Stop that. Just stop that. Just give me the facts. And I don't know why that doesn't work. But then again, I do. I think I know why. It's because America hasn't been this divided since the Civil War. I've mentioned that to you guys. And I hate this. It makes me very sad because what you're witnessing is the downfall of your country. America will not survive because we do not have unity as a country. Forget just the Black community. I'm talking about America in general. And I know what happens is that people get into social media is partly to blame because people get into these ridiculous little silos where they don't want to hear the other side. So if I was to give Marc Lamont Hill or the Black News Channel any credit for anything, I will say that I actually applaud the fact that they brought Judge Joe Brown in, who he spanked Marc like a 7-year-old. He whooped his ass. But the fact that he even chose to have that debate, I actually respect that. That was one of the things that I saw where I said, okay, wow, they're actually giving this guy a voice, because what happens is that many of these media outlets, including some of the big ones, the Griot and stuff like that, they have certain Black people where they just act like you don't exist. You know, think about this. You have millions of Black people who think Dr. Claude Anderson is one of the most important figures in the 20th century. And there are outlets that literally act like he's nowhere around. They'll go find some random guy who doesn't know half as much as Dr. Anderson and get him to speak in Dr. Anderson's area of expertise. And that's just downright criminal. That's ridiculous to me. So if you want to know what my goal is for you and what I would love to see for you is I'd like for you to have access to the information that you want. And I really want to encourage you to gain the stomach to listen to people that you disagree with, because sometimes your adversaries have good ideas too. So that's my 2 cents on the issue. In terms of the Black News Channel, what do I think? I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'll just say that the fact that it's not that the majority investor happens to be this Pakistani guy, that means he's probably the one calling the shots. I don't care what anybody says. He's the guy. If he put his money up, he's going to protect his money, because I understand money and I understand how people with money think. And I know he ain't going to write that check without having some say in the editorial content of that channel. And then also the fact that he's a Trump supporter, whatever, you can take with that what you want. The white guy, Bob Brilliant, I don't know exactly where he is in the process, but I do know that it looks like, according to the article I read, that he was the CEO for a little while. I heard they got a Black guy to be the CEO now. But the question again becomes, is this person truly empowered, or are they just a figurehead? Nobody really knows. I would honestly say at the end of the day, if I were to trust Black media outlets, I would look at something like the Diaspora News with Phil. Phil, I forgot Phil's last name, but Phil has the Diaspora News, and I know Phil, and Phil runs it, and it's his thing, and that's it, right? That way you don't have sort of any weird, questionable scenarios set up here. So I'm not in any way disparaging the Black News Channel. I'm just giving you guys the facts, and you can do with it as you wish. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. If you want to support the channel, you can go to intelligentblackpeople.com. We'd love to have your support. Also, don't forget that this week we're going to do the Powernomics discussions, or the book club. We're going to start with Powernomics and other books like Powernomics from Dr. Claude Anderson and others. And you can join the class totally for free. Philip Scott's his name. I couldn't remember his last name. But you can go to blackkeystogreatness.com and sign up. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. So anyway, guys, I'm out of here. Please have a good day. I'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.